How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about NIO. I've been getting a good amount of messages about that, and I know it's been a while since I revisited this stock on the channel, but they do have earnings that's supposed to be coming up on March the 7th. We're also going to be getting an update on February deliveries. So I want to give you guys my thoughts on this video. I won't waste any more time. Let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you're a shareholder, you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is the technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support. We want to know resistance. We want to know what it looks like in the bearish case scenario and as well as in the bullish case scenario. And then we're going to go on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information. The reason why this is important because it does have an impact on the way the stock performs. And then we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know the buying and the selling behavior on the retail side and as well as on the institutional side. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to do a technical analysis for NIO. Let's see how it performed on Friday. So it ended up closing at $20.94, being down 1.32%. On the low, it tested $20.19, and then on the high, testing $21.57. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 56.994 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days is at 49.55 million shares. So we did have above average volume on the day. But we dealt with a good amount of selling pressure. Now, when we take a look at our chart, which is a daily chart, you can see from the RSI down below, it is at 36.27. And then when we take a look at our moving averages here on the chart, we are below the 200-day, the 100-day, the 50-day, and as well as the 21-day EMA. And as you can see, NIO is in a bear market, trading below all of our major moving averages, and it has been on quite the downtrend. No shocker there due to the fact that the market as a whole hasn't been doing that well as of late. Let's be honest here. So taking a look at the recent price action, if we end up having a pullback, we do know that February delivery numbers will be coming out, and they do have earnings that is coming out on March the 8th. We could pull back here to around $17.81. And if this level does not hold, then the next level you'd want to see hold up will be right here around $15.70. So that's just one thing to be aware of, because this downtrend could easily continue, especially if we have more volatility in the market. As far as upside is concerned, of course, it closed at $20.94, so it's going to need to get above $21, and then you want to see a move to the 21-day EMA, which is around $23.91. If it's able to reclaim this level, then things can start looking good for NIO. But if it's not able to do that and it constantly gets rejected, as you can see, it is a resistance area, then it will come right back down to where it's trading between the 21 and just having resistance right at 22. So let's see how NIO performs for this coming week, and let's see if it can continue to hold up this $20 area of support. But if it breaks through, you guys already know what the downside looks like. So we're going to take a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information for NIO. Scrolling down further on the page, green rows indicate new positions, while red rows indicate closed positions. So when we take a look at the recent filings we have for February the 25th, we have ABAEX that purchased 23,000 shares. We also do come down and see Impact Shares Trust that purchased 56 shares. And then we also have Pioneer Series Trust that purchased 2,790 shares. And then we also have Rise Advisors LLC that purchased 70 shares. For the 2030 of Cornerstone Advisory LLC that purchased 205 shares. And we have Lake Point Wealth Management that purchased 30 shares. And we see FDRV with 50,574 shares. And then Tyler Stone Wealth Management with 574 shares. And even if we go down even further, we do see some closed positions, but institutions have been continuing to load up, especially BSN Capital Partners Limited that purchased just over 1.13 million shares. So scrolling back up, let's see what the graph is looking like for institutions loading up. And you can see as of late, institutions continue to pile in while NIO stock is dipping. So now when we take a look at the short interest The off-exchange short volume ratio is at 45.25%, and then for the off-exchange short volume, it is just over 9.92 million shares. Scrolling down further on the page, the short shares availability is at 10 million, updated 3 minutes ago, and then for the short ball free rate, it is at 0.29%. When we take a look at the history of the short volume, we can see for the close of the 24th, it is at 38.97, and then when we see the close for the 25th, it is at 45.25. So that is a significant increase right there. And what this shows us, NIO does have short squeeze potential. So now let's move on to the order flow distribution. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for NIO. So on the inflow, it's at 188, and then on the outflow, it's at 176. Taking a look at the breakdown, on the large, it was 1.59. On the medium, it was 117, and then on the small, it was 69.55. Taking a look at the outflow side, you can see on the large, it was 0.98. On the medium, 113, and then on the small, it was 62.55. Taking a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you can see for February the 25th, it being that inflow of 0.61 million. We also did see an inflow on the 24th. We also saw it on the 22nd, and we also saw it on the 18th. So institution and whales are definitely loading up, and the only outflow day we had was on the 23rd. Analyzing the numbers even further for the small scale orders that tends to represent the retail side, we had more buying than we had selling. And then when we take a look at what happened on the medium, we had more buying than we had selling. And then when we take a look at the large, which represents whales, institutions, and funds, we had more buying than we had selling. And then when we take a look at the turnover ratio, it was at 3.58%. And considering the trading volume that NIO sees, this is right about the average range. But one thing that is very clear though, we do see as far as for large scale orders, institutions, whales, they have been loading up, and we are seeing interest on the retail side. So that shows there's a lot of demand at the current price level for NIO. So now let's go into the final thoughts, and we'll go over some more details as well. So for my final thoughts for NIO, when it comes to earnings that's going to be released on March the 7th, I think before we even start looking at that, we have to pay attention to those February delivery numbers that will be coming out. And the reason why that is important, we have to take into consideration the Chinese New Year, so people being off of work. The second point we have to take into consideration is that February is a shorter month. And then the third point that we have to keep in consideration, it is for Q1. This is right after the holidays, so people don't tend to spend a lot of money. There's a lot of financial planning that is going on. So knowing these factors, that's why I'm not going to be expecting a lot. So keep an eye on those February deliveries. I could be wrong, but that's just my personal opinion. And when it comes to earnings, what we want to look for, are they going to be able to give us some strong guidance for 2022? We know there are issues in regard to supply chain shortages, and we also want to know how much cash is NIO burning to make sure that they can move this company forward. So many analysts are going to be watching this, and I know a lot of investors are going to be watching this. So that's why you want to make sure you're prepared, and is why I gave you those bearish price levels if the stock does decide to pull back. And if you don't know, it is around $17.80, and then on the lower end of $15.70. And if you're looking for a bullish reversal, then this stock needs to get back above the 21-day EMA at $23.91. That's why essentially I said $24 would be a key level. Also, when we went on Fintel, taking a look at the short interest information, it also continues to have short squeeze potential. Plus, on top of that, for the recent institutional ownership, institutions continue to load up on shares, and they've been loading up heavy on the dip. So I know a lot of long-term investors will be happy to hear that, but if you are thinking about getting into a position, I would exercise some patience, because you might be able to get this stock at an even better price. So let's see how NIO performs for the coming weeks, and let me know inside of the comment section if you want to see more NIO videos. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll be talking real soon.